So today we're going to be talking about three huge mistakes that we may be making when it comes to our nutrition and our nutrition choices when it then comes to, well, improving our health, losing weight, losing fat, gaining muscle, anything to do with then promoting, enhancing and improving our health. So I'm going to get straight into it. So 3 huge mistakes that I see members and, people that I speak to, mistakes that they're making. Now, there are some common mistakes that we, and even myself, we make over and over again without even realizing it. And what this is actually doing then is holding us back and is preventing us from reaching our goals and preventing us from getting the results that we want. Now, I know there is so much nutrition information out there and it is contradictory. You'll read something that says one thing here and then read a second article about the exact same thing, yet it's asking or, advising you to do something different. So I get it. It's totally confusing. And even sometimes when I'm doing research about things, I come across the exact same thing. So I even get confused. So I can understand then how frustrating it can be and how then easy it also can be just to go, too hard, put it in the too hard basket and not even think about it. However, by doing that, it's not actually serving us in that space, is it? It's not actually helping us to move forward. Alrighty, so here are some of the top 3, and I mean, when I say top 3, there are millions of, nutritional mistakes that I could touch on, but I've chosen the top 3 here and a couple that you may even not think about. They're not, fully, you might not even think about it or consider it as such, which is amazing because, I don't want to just be going over the same stuff. Alrighty. So first mistake that we tend to do when it comes to nutrition is actually think about what foods we need to remove from our daily diet as opposed to then looking at what we need to add in. Alrighty, so this is a real common one, and it's so common when people are starting out on new nutrition plans, new health plans, joining a new, health and fitness program. The first thing that they want to do is actually start removing food and what they believe to be bad foods from their diet, alrighty? So we come up then with a list of all these foods that we need to remove. And what we then find, a lot of those foods are actually our favorite foods. So our list and, what we then can eat becomes, or we believe it comes really quite restrictive. Alrighty. And when anything in that space is going to be restrictive, it is going to put a negative connotation and a negative spin around what you're trying to achieve in that sense. So we're actually coming at it from a scarcity mindset. So if we're thinking of everything we have to remove, then in my belief, we're coming at it from the wrong angle. Alrighty. And so when we start then removing and, going through our list of all the foods that we have to remove, and a lot of the times, as I mentioned, they're some of our favorite foods or some of the foods that we enjoy eating, it becomes very restrictive and it no longer is fun. Alrighty, so eating then has this, stigma around it that we then don't want to eat. Alrighty, so I then also see people skipping meals in this space. Alrighty, so realistically, how long do you believe that you can actually go without eating some of your favorite foods? I don't know about you, but I enjoy food. I love food, so I don't want to be, scrapping anything off my list as such, because inevitably the result is going to be that you're not going to be able to keep up with it. We're all human. Our willpower is going to give out sooner rather than later, especially if we believe or we have a perception around removing foods from our list of what we can eat. It creates the restrictive mindset, and it creates this feeling of I can't have the foods that I enjoy. Now, anytime that we have this mindset around then that food, we're not going to enjoy what we have put in place. Alrighty, and what that then is going to lead to, if we're restricting ourselves from some of our favorite foods, as I mentioned, willpower will give out sooner rather than later. We're going to end up binging and overeating these foods. Alrighty, so we're stacking a negative then on top of a negative, and there's no way we can actually get a positive out of this scenario here. Alrighty, so my solution here is, and it's a two-step solution. So instead of, once you start a new nutrition plan or a new fitness plan, instead of thinking about all the foods that you have to remove from your daily eating plan, let's instead look at adding in food and adding in quality foods. Alrighty, so we want to look at adding quality whole foods full of nutrition, or full of, the nutrient dense food. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. Because what we actually want to do is try to fix any deficiencies that we might have. Alrighty, now you may not realize or you may not know that you have any deficiencies in minerals or vitamins. Alrighty, so some ways that we can find that out is actually going for a blood test as such. So we're actually testing our levels of iron, of zinc, and all of those vitamins and minerals. Alternatively, and a much easier step to try first, is actually to add in a whole heap of vegetables to your diet. Alrighty. So what this is going to do, and when I say vegetables, I'm talking about eating the whole rainbow of vegetables, alrighty? Get lots and lots of colorful, vibrant colors within your diet, alrighty? They're full of phytonutrients, they're full of minerals, full of vitamins. It's also full of fiber, so these vegetables are full of fiber, so they're going to help to keep you fuller for longer in that space as well. And also it's going to help feed your gut in a healthy way. Alrighty, so it could actually fix some of the gut imbalances that you may have, because when we're feeling lethargic and feeling tired and we don't have any energy, a lot of the time that's due to an actual nutrient deficiency. So if we can add in fresh and not even necessarily fresh, we can eat frozen vegetables, steamed, boiled, roasted, however you like to eat them. Just add more vegetables into your diet there, alrighty? And that's going to help with, trying to fix those vitamin deficiencies. By all means, it's not the absolute answer. You could have other health issues that are affecting, your progress and everything. However, this is one really easy way that you can do, and you can do straight away and from home to help move you forward and help to improve then your actual gut health, and to, adding in those foods, improving the uptake of the vitamins and minerals that you're getting in your body. Alrighty, because vegetables hold so many nutrients and micronutrients, so many minerals, so many vitamins that our body actually needs to be able to run at its best possible, optimal rate. Alrighty. And so by doing that, you're going to be probably taking care of some of those issues. And what I really like about adding in more vegetables and adding in more food is it's actually putting the focus then on a positive outcome, as opposed to, as I said before, removing and writing down everything that you have to remove from your diet, which is really restrictive, which comes from a scarcity mindset. is we're actually coming from a place of abundance where we're actually adding in more foods, and we're adding in more foods that are going to serve us and our body in the best possible way. Alrighty, so then our actual mindset around nutrition changes. Alrighty, and when we can start to do this and do it consistently and confidently, we're going to start feeling better, and we're going to get some of those wins that are really going to help propel us forward. Because when we're adding more vegetables, we're adding more fiber, we're feeling better, we're going to see results in the sense of, it's going to improve our energy. It's going to help to, us to sleep better. We're going to be able to recover better. Our mood is going to be enhanced and improved. We're going to have, more energy, and we're going to be able to keep up with our kids. Alrighty, so all in all, we're going to feel better. And when we can actually start to feel better, then we want to take those next steps of, moving forward even more so, because we're already seeing results. We're on the results train. We're feeling better. We want to then look at what's next that we can do to improve our, position, I guess, to get us the results that we want. Alrighty, so once we've done that and we're doing it, consistently and confidently, so it's a win-win here. So once we're doing that, what we can then look at in step 2 here of the 2-step, solution is then to look at what we can actually reduce in our diet in that sense. So what are some of the foods that we recognize aren't actually serving us very well? So it could be some of those foods that we've written down on our list, but what I want you to think about more so is, how do you feel after eating a particular food? Is this, after eating something, are you feeling bloated? Do you notice that your energy spikes and then you have a crash? That's what I'm talking about here. So actually become more aware around the impact that the food is having on you and your body. Alrighty, and that's the types of foods that I want you to consider then to reduce or limit in your diet, because those foods aren't actually serving you if they're making you feel sluggish, if they're making you feel tired, if they're making you feel grumpy, and if you're just not feeling good in that space. Alrighty. So we then look at those types of foods to then remove them. So remember, our body is actually talking to us at, all of the time. Are we actually then in tune to pick up what our body is trying to tell us? Because if we get to the point where we ignore what our body's saying, aches, pains, feeling bloated, constipated, diarrhea, that's all messages that our body is sending to us that something is wrong, or we're not agreeing with the food that's happening, that we're taking in, or the situation around us. Our body is not liking it, so it's calling out to us. So if we then continue to ignore those signs, our body then starts to, it doesn't, I guess, ever stop telling us, but it gets quieter and quieter, alrighty? And we then believe that how we're feeling is normal, alrighty? So this is a common thing. People believe how they're feeling, like they're feeling sluggish, if they're feeling unenergetic, if you're feeling tired, if you can't concentrate for long periods of time, people believe that is then normal. That's not normal. It's very common, however, it's not normal, alrighty? So nutrition and what we're eating can have a big effect on a lot of things within our body and a lot of our body's processes. So how are you showing up in the sense of, are you listening to your body? Are you aware of the signals that it's sending? And are you listening and then taking action? Alrighty. So moving on to my second nutrition mistake that I see people making. Alrighty, so it's actually, you're not matching your diet, or you're not matching the foods that you're eating or the style of eating to your actual lifestyle or to your personality as such. Alrighty. Now, if we set ourselves up in a position to fail, we're always going to fail. Alrighty. Life happens to us. We're not meant to be 100% compliant to, a restrictive diet plan or even a meal plan 100% of the time. And we shouldn't have to be. Life is about balance. So let's actually put ourselves in a position to succeed. Let's set ourselves up for success. Alrighty. So think about things like getting yourself prepared and organized in advance. So if you've got an extra hour or two on the weekend or of an evening, then, do things like meal prep or cut up some vegetables for the next day or boil some eggs so you've got some, easy snacks on hand that you can just grab, rather than being unorganized and unplanned where, when you get hungry, the first thing then you're reaching for is some of those foods that aren't actually serving you. Alrighty. And, think about it. If you're a social, active person, or, as in someone that likes to go out on the weekends, likes to, go out for a dance or go out for a drink, at a nightclub or at a bar, whatever it may be, catching up with friends, don't then, if that's who you are, if you're then trying to stay on a really restrictive, meal plan over the weekend as well, it's not actually going to work for you in that sense. And you're going to find it difficult. So in situations, I guess, like this, think about your total weekly, eating and such. And if you know that you've got events coming up over the weekend, you can then adjust how you're the food that you're consuming around then those events, alrighty? So you don't have to then feel the food guilt or those feelings of, oh God, I've gone out and overeaten again because I was at a party. You know that most of the time, that you're going to go somewhere. You know that you're going to be at an event that it may not have the food that you want to be eating. So think about things like eating before you go, or actually, plan the days of calories if you're, someone that actually, counts their calories in that sense, or actually counts what food they're eating, and actually maybe reduce your amount of calories earlier in the day so that you can have, a little bit of a surplus of calories that you can spend on, eating out that night. So that's what I mean by matching your personality and your lifestyle to the foods, or to what you're actually going to do. And think about things like creating, daily menus, or at the start of the week, create the menu plan for the rest of the week. That way you're shopping to that plan. You're only getting the foods that you need for the meals that you're, planning to cook. Maybe do a larger cook up and have some, meals that you've put away in the freezer for nights that you might get home late from work, or nights that you really just don't feel like cooking and, doing up a big meal. There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually awesome. And, every time I actually cook, I'll cook more than I need for that meal so that I have something left over, so it saves me cooking the next day. And that just suits me and my lifestyle for where I'm at, because I don't have the time to, be cooking every single meal, with the food that I actually want to eat. So I'll cook up a larger amount and then portion it out and have then that food ready just to be heated up in the microwave for the next day. Alrighty. And actually recognize, know what your triggers are as such, so if you're someone that stays home a lot, you're more likely, and I know the days that sometimes I'm home all day, I do find that sometimes I can be up at the fridge or into the pantry on a more, regular basis, because I might be bored, or I might, have a certain feeling state. So if you know that is something that you do, actually recognize that and become aware of that. And there's nothing, don't put yourself down when it comes to that, actually, as I say, recognize it and do something about it, as in, right, this is what might happen. So what I'm going to do, instead of going to the fridge, because I'm not actually hungry, I've just eaten my lunch, I'm going to go out for a walk, or I'm going to plan my day so that I'm actually doing things that are keeping me occupied, or, that I'm then focused on. So I don't have then the opportunity, if I'm just sitting around and thinking, oh, well, what should I do? I'm getting bored. Okay, I'll go and eat. Because that then just will lead to overeating. And a lot of the time eating then those foods, as I touched on, that aren't always serving you. Alrighty. So tip number 3 in my my most common nutrition mistakes that I see parents and my clients making. So missing the 90% to hit the 10%. Alrighty, so a lot of the time we focus on those small little things that we believe is going to make, a huge difference, like thinking about supplements or thinking about fat burners. Let's strip it back and actually focus on the basics, alrighty? So let's focus on, and the basics are the 90%, alrighty? Now, 90% is a bigger percentage than 10%, so it would make sense that you're going to focus on things that are going to have a bigger impact on your overall result, as opposed to something that might just make a small little dent. Alrighty, so these are the things like, fill your plate 50%, so half of your plate, allow it to be full of vegetables. Alrighty, so salad, veggies, whatever it is that you like. And as I touched on before, eat the rainbow. So have a whole heap of different vegetables on your plate. Have 1/4 of the plate as a protein source. Alrighty, now this is really easy. You can actually use your hand to let you know, portion sizes in that sense. So the size of your palm here, for ladies, that should be, a protein source should be that size. Alrighty, for men, it's two palm sizes. Alrighty, and then we adjust from there depending on, tracking then, the measurables. Some fats as well. So you want some healthy fats on your plate as well. So healthy fats is actually a thumb. You can use the size of your thumb. And the best thing about using your hand is indicative to you as such, or, based on the size of you and your body is the size of your hand. So, and you've always got your hand attached to you. Well, majority of us do. So we can always use it. Yeah, it's a really easy and simple tool in that sense. And think about eating real whole foods. So instead of, opting for something like orange juice, actually eat an orange. Alrighty, so you're getting, yes, the juice, but you're getting all that extra fiber and everything from the actual fruit itself, rather than a processed product. So think about eating the food as close to its natural source as possible. Alrighty, so also eat a variety of foods. Alrighty, it just helps to keep you stimulated, helps to keep you interested. I know a lot of people tend to get bored eating the same thing day in, day out. I actually quite enjoy it. I don't have an issue with that as such. However, I know some people do. So actually eat a variety of food, alrighty? So change it up so you're never feeling bored by the food, alrighty? So if you can hit most of these every day, then you're actually hitting the 90%. And if you're doing that on a consistent basis, it most definitely should be leading you closer to results and closer to the goal that you actually want. Alrighty. So to me, the 10% is worrying about things like what protein powder should I have, or should I be taking a fat burner or not? Like, if you aren't actually getting enough protein from your food because you're not knowing what to eat or not eating enough protein, then what right do you have to try and then supplement with a protein powder as such, if you can't actually get enough protein from your food source? And when I say that, I'm meaning because you're not eating protein as such. you're opting not to eat the food, but you want the powder over it. Like, there's going to be a lot more benefit for your health by you actually eating the whole food as opposed to the powder. Like the powders can come in as a supplementary, like to actually supplement your diet. Yes, no problem. However, I wouldn't opt for the powder over the food if you can help it in that sense, just because the food comes with so many other benefits and nutrients for you in that sense. Alrighty, so they are my 3 huge mistakes when it comes to nutrition that you may be making. So if you feel as if you're making any of those mistakes, just pop it down below. If you've got some benefit from my video today, please hit the heart button. I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for joining me, Jen. I hope you got some benefit out of today. If you're watching on replay, please hit hashtag replay below. And I hope you have an amazing day.